Siya Chigora Chan Radna Simhasane Siya Chigora Chan Radna Simhasane Arati Korendra Maha Adi Devagane Arati Korendra Maha Adi Devagane Nara Hari Hari Kori Chamararudaya Nara Hari Hari Kori Chamararudaya Sanjaya Mukunda Basu Gosharigaya Sanjaya Mukunda Basu Gosharigaya Shanka Bhaje Ganta Bhaje Bhaje Karatala Shanka Bhaje Ganta Bhaje Bhaje Karatala Madhura Mrindanga Bhaje Paramarasala Madhura Mrindanga Bhaje Paramarasala Aho Koti Chandra Jini Varana Ujvala Aho Koti Chandra Jini Varana Ujvala Deshe Vannamala Kore Jalamala Kala Deshe Vannamala Kore Jalamala Shukanarada Preme Gada Gada Shiva Shukanarada Preme Gada Gada Bhakti Vinoda Deke Gora Rasambhara Bhakti Vinoda Deke Gora Rasambhara Namahom Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Sarasvati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Ashkatyari Shatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Ashtatar Shata Shri Srimad A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Ashtatar Shata Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananti Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Shrilharidas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Sago Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasade Gaura Bhakti Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopi Gopinath Shyama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhana Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Mathura Dham Ki Jai. Navadvip Dham Ki Jai. Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Tulasi Devi Ki Jai. Yamuna Maya Ki Jai. Ganga Maya Ki Jai. Samavita Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru Angaranga. Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Pralada Lada Dahine. Hiranya Kashipo Vakshaha. Tankana Kalaihe. Ito Nishimha Parato Nishimha. Yato Yamitato Nishimha. Nishima Hiraye Nishima Narashim Hamadim Sharanam Praktare Avakara Kamalavare Nakam Adutta Shringam Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanubringyam Ishavadita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Avakara Kamalavare Nakama Dutta Shringam Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanubringyam Keshavadita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Keshavadita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Lord Nrsingadev ki, Prahlad Maharaj ki.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. I was asked to give a class tonight. Come on, Juggernaut, you can do it. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Oh, Bhagavad Gita class. Introduction prayer starting on page 1. Amagana Termandasya Gyana Jana Salakya Shakshulimite Nina Tasme Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Mono Bishtam Sapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mayam Dadati Swapadikam. I was born in the darkest ignorance. My spiritual master opened my eyes with a torch of knowledge. Offer my respectful obeisances unto him. When will Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada, who is established within this material world the mission to fulfill the desire of Lord Chaitanya, give me shelter under his lotus feet? Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Pada Kamalam Shri Guram Vaishnavascha Shri Rupa Sagra Jatam Saha Gana Raghunat Vitam Stasa Javam Savetam Sadhutam Pariyajana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishkana Vintamscha. Offer my respectful obeisances unto those feet of my spiritual master, and to the feet of all Vaishnavas. Offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of Srila Rupa Goswami, along with his elder brother Sanatana Goswami, as well as Raghunath Das and Raghunath Bhatta, Gopala Bhatta, and Srila Jiva Goswami. Offer my respectful obeisances to Lord Krishna Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, along with Acharya, Gadhar, Srivasa, and other associates. I offer my respectful obeisances to Srimati Radharani and Sri Krishna, along with their associates, Sri Lalita and Vishaka. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dino Bandhu Jagapate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namo Sute. Oh, my dear Krishna, you are the friend of the distressed and the source of creation. You are the master of the gopis and the lover of Radharani. Offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Tapa Kanchana Garangi Redi Bindas Vespasari Vispanu Sute Devi Pramamare Hare Pariye. Offer my respects to Radharani, whose bodily complexion is like molten gold, and who is the queen of Vrindavan. You are the daughter of King Vishpanu, and you are very dear to Lord Krishna. Pancha Kapatpariyascha Kripa Sindhu Evascha Patitanam Papadhyane Bayo Vaishnava Bayo Nomo Namaha. Offer my respectful obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord, who can fulfill the desires of everyone, just like desire trees, and who are full of compassion for the fallen souls. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Veta Gadhar, Shri Vastagora Bhaktavinda. Offer my obeisances to Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Veta Gadhar, Shri Vasa, and all others in line of devotion. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. See, now we are on chapter 2, contents of the Gita summarized. I believe we are picking up on verse 25 today. Sound right? I think actually 24. Let's start with verse 24. Achedyo yam adyo yam akledyo shosya evacha nitya sarvagata siddhanaru achalo yam sanatana. Translation: the individual soul is unbreakable and insoluble and can be neither burned nor dried. He is everlasting, all-pervading, unchanging, and unmovable, and eternally the same. Text 25. Amyakto yam achinto yam avikaro yam uchate tasmadivam vidivanyam nanushutyam ashari. Translation: it is said that the soul is invisible, inconceivable, immutable, and unchangeable. Knowing this, you should not grieve for the body. Text 26. Atta chanam nitya jatam nityam va manyase mritam tapapi tvam mahabaho nainam sochitam arashi. Translation: if however you think that the soul is perpetually born and always dies, still you have no reason to lament, O mighty armed. Text 27. Tatasya hi drivo mityo dridmam jamma mityascha tasmad aparyaye vite natvam sochitum arhashi. Translation: for those who has taken his birth, death is certain, and for those who is dead, birth is certain. Therefore, in the unavoidable discharge of your duty, you should not lament. Text 28. Avyaktandi bhutani vyakta madhyani brata avyakta nihanaya eva tatraka paritibhina. Translation: all created beings are unmanifest in their beginning, manifest in their interim state, and unmanifest again when they are annihilated. So what need is there for lamentation? Text 29. Ashtaryapat paryaskachit inam ashkarivat bharati tathavyachaya ashkaryapat chainam anyat Shnuti Shnutavapi inam vedana chaiva kashit. Translation: some look on the soul as amazing, some describe him as amazing, and some hear of him as amazing, while others, even after hearing about him, cannot understand him at all. Text 30. Dihi nityam advyaryam dehe sarvasya bharata tasmat sarvani bhutani natvam sochitum arhashi. Translation: O son of Bharata, he who dwells in the body is internal and can never be slain. Therefore you need not grieve for any creature. Text 31. Sradanam api travikshya navikyam bhutam arhashi dramadyadi yudach charyodnayat kshatriyasya nat vidyate. Translation: concerning your specific duty as Kshatriya, you should know that there is no better engagement for you than fighting on religious principles, and so there is no need for hesitation. Text 32. Yarityaya kopanam swarga dwaram up. Oh gosh. Swaryagdoram uptvam sukhina satraya parta labanti yudam idarsham. O Partha, happy as the Satrias to whom such fighting opportunities come unsought, opening for them the doors of heavenly planets. Text 33. Ata chitwamima dharmamayam sangaramana karyashyasi tatta svadaram kittam cha hitva patpam avapasi. Translation: if, however, you do not fight this religious war, then you will certainly incur sins for neglecting your duties, and thus you lose your reputation as a fighter. Text 34. Akirtam kapi bhutani gadhat yasyati te vayayam sabhavitasya chaktir aranda atitrishyate. Translation: people who always speak of your infamy, and for one who has been honored, dishonor is worse than death. Text 35, our final text tonight. Vayadrandan uparitam ashyanti tvam maharata isham ta tvam bahumato uyam yashi lagavam. Translation: the great generals who have highly esteemed your name and fame will think that you have left the battlefield out of fear only, and thus they will consider you a coward. Turning to text 24. Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. The individual soul is unbreakable and insoluble. It can be neither burned nor dried. It is everlasting, all-pervading, unchangeable, immovable, and eternally the same. Purport. All these qualifications of the atomic soul definitely prove that the individual soul is eternally the atomic particle of the spirit whole, and he remains the same atom eternally without change. The theory of monism is very difficult to apply in this case, because the individual soul is never expected to become one homogeneously after liberation from material contamination. The atomic soul may prefer to remain a spiritual spark in the effulgent rays of Supreme Personality Godhead, but the intelligent souls enter into the spiritual planets to associate with the Personality of Godhead. The word sarvagata, all-pervading, is significant because there is no doubt the living entities are all over God's creation. They live on the land, in the water, in the air, within the earth, and even within fire. The belief that they are sterilized in fire is not acceptable because it is clearly stated here that the soul cannot be burned by fire. Therefore, there is no doubt that there are living entities also in the sun planet with suitable bodies to live there. If the sun globe is uninhabited, then the word sarvagata, living everywhere, becomes meaningless. So here we definitely have a statement being made. Gauritai ki jai. Life is everywhere. Everywhere that can be seen. Sun planet. Even there. It's interesting, science is always discovering, life where they don't expect life to be discovered. This down to the deepest depths of the ocean. You know, they've found life, you know, next to volcanic vents that were like, you know, literally boiling the water around it. But there is life able to sustain in that kind of atmosphere. Life everywhere we look. Reach into the soil, pull up a thing of soil, there's life all within that. Text 25. It is said the word is invisible, inconceivable, immutable, and unchangeable. Knowing this, you should not grieve for the body. Purport. As described previously, the magnitude of the soul is so small for our material calculation that he cannot be seen even by the most powerful microscope. Therefore, he is invisible. As far as the soul's existence is concerned, no one can establish his existence experimentally beyond the proofs of Shruti, or Vedic wisdom. We have to accept this truth because there is no other source of understanding the existence of the soul, although it is a fact by perception. There are many things we have to accept solely on the grounds of superior authority. No one can deny the existence of his father based on the authority of his mother. There is no other source of understanding the identity of the father except by the authority of the mother. Similarly, there is no other source of understanding the soul except by the study of the Vedas. In other words, the soul is inconceivable by human experimental knowledge. The soul is consciousness, and conscious that also is a statement of the Vedas. And we have to accept that. Unlike bodily changes, there is no change in the soul. As eternally unchangeable, the soul remains atomic in comparison to the infinite supreme soul. The supreme soul is infinite, and the atomic soul is infinitesimal. Therefore, the infinitesimal soul, being unchangeable, can never become equal to the infinite soul, with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This concept is repeated in the Vedas in different ways. Just to confirm the stability of the conception of the soul, repetition of something is necessary in order that we understand the matter thoroughly without error. Text 26. If, however, you think that the soul is perpetually born and always dies, still you have no reason to lament, O mighty armed. Purport. There is always a class of philosophers, almost akin to the Buddhists, who do not believe in the separate existence of the soul beyond the body. When Lord Krishna spoke to the Bhagavad Gita, it appears that such philosophers existed, and they were known as the Lokayatikas and Vaibhasikas. The philosophers maintain that life symptoms or soul takes place at a certain mature condition and material combination. The modern material scientists and materialist philosophers also think similarly. According to them, the body is a combination of physical elements, and at a certain stage, the life symptoms develop by interaction of the physical and chemical elements. The science of anthropology is based on this philosophy. Currently, many pseudo-religions now becoming fashionable in America are also adhering to this philosophy, as well as the nihilistic, non-devotional Buddhist sects. Even Arjuna did not believe in the existence of the soul, as in the Vaibhasika philosophy. There would still have been no cause for lamentation. No one laments for the loss of certain bulk of chemicals and stops discharging his prescribed duty. On the other hand, in modern science, and scientific warfare, so many tons of chemicals are wasted for achieving victory over the enemy. According to the Vaibhashika philosophy, the so-called soul or Atma vanishes along with the deterioration of the body. So in any case, whether Arjuna accepted the Vedic conclusion that there is an atomic soul, or whether he did not believe in the existence of the soul, he had no reason to lament, according to this theory, since there are so many living entities generating out of matter every moment, and so many of them are being vanquished every moment. There is no need to grieve for such an incident. However, since he was not risking rebirth of the soul, Arjuna had no reason to be afraid to be affected by the sinful reactions due to his killing of his grandfather and teacher. But at the same time, Krishna sarcastically addressed Arjuna as Mahabahu, mighty armed, because he at least did not accept the theory of the Vaibhashikas, which leaves aside the Vedic wisdom. As a Kshatriya, Arjuna belonged to the Vedic culture, and it behooved him to continue to follow the principles. Text 27. Translation. One who takes his birth, death is certain, and for one who is dead, birth is certain. Therefore, in the unavoidable discharge of your duty, you should not lament. Report. One has to take birth according to one's activities of life, and after finishing one term of activities, one has to die to take birth for the next. In this way, the cycle of birth and death is revolving, one after another, without liberation. This cycle of birth and death does not occur, however, to support unnecessary murder, slaughter, and war. At the same time, violence and war are inevitable factors in human society for keeping law and order. The battle of Kurukshetra, being the will of the Supreme, was an inevitable event. And to fight for the right cause is the duty of the Kshatriyas. Why should he be afraid of the aggrieved at the death of his relative, since he was discharging the proper duty? He did not deserve to break the law, thereby becoming subjected to the reactions of sinful acts, of which he was so afraid. By avoiding the discharge of his proper duty, he would not be able to stop the death of his relatives, and would be degraded due to his selection on the wrong path of action. Yeah, when you're born, one thing is certain, you're going to die. When you die, one thing is certain, you will be reborn again. That's why it's in the system of Bhakti Yoga, we are actually working on our next rebirth, whether it be in the spiritual world, or here on earth, or down in the hellish regions. Everything that we do, all of our actions is making our next life, making our next body. So everything that we've done in this life is basically transforming our next body. Our next body is waiting for us. And Bhakti Yoga is so important because we are preparing our next body. And we are hopefully preparing our next body to be in the spiritual sky. Have a spiritual body, not a material body. If we're chasing after material things and indulging in material things, doing things for material pleasure, we're basically developing the material body to do so in the next life. That's what our desire is. That's what Krishna is going to reward us with. But if we take to Bhakti Yoga, and do everything spiritually, use our senses spiritually. When we're hearing kirtan that's being offered to the Lord. When we see, we're seeing the deities. We're seeing art that's been offered to the Lord. We're seeing flowers that have been offered to the Lord. We're seeing prasadam that's been offered to the Lord. When we smell, we're using our spiritual sense of smell to smell the flowers that's been offered to the Lord. The incense has been offered to the Lord. When we taste the water that's been offered to the Lord, taste the prasadam that's been offered to the Lord. Even our sense of touch is involved. We touch the prasadam that we're eating. We touch the flowers that's been offered to the Lord. We touch the flame. If we're engaging our spiritual senses, we're developing the spiritual body. We're preparing our next body for this next life, to be reborn into the spiritual sky, be reborn into the spiritual world, rather than the material world. It's what we want to invest our time in. What kind of body we're going to get. Those that, indulge and eat like pigs, act like pigs, have sex like pigs, your future body is going to probably be a pig. If we act like an animal, chances are our future body is going to be an animal. Very important to take this human birth seriously. Because there are just 8,400,000 forms of life that we can be reborn into. Trillions upon trillions of life forms are waiting for a human birth. Got to take advantage of this human birth. Use our body accordingly. Because if we misuse this body, it may be a very long time before we get another chance. Because we can't make spiritual progress as a hog, or as a cat, or as a dog. That's your prison sentence. That's the time that you got to serve because you misuse the body. That's your reward. You got to go through that cycle. And depends on how many cycles you got to go through, before you get back to human form. It could be a very, very long time. So if we're continually trying to develop our spiritual body, and even if we don't succeed in being reborn into the spiritual world in this lifetime, we'll have a very good chance at a human birth again if we're using our body appropriately, if we're following Bhakti Yoga properly. Well, where did I leave off at? 27 or 28? I left off at 28? Okay. Text 28. All created beings are unmanifest in their beginning, manifest in their interim state, and unmanifest again when they are annihilated. So what need is there for lamentation? Purport. Accepting that there are two classes of philosophers, one believing in the existence of the soul, and the other not believing in the existence of the soul, there is no cause for lamentation in either case. Non-believers in the existence of the soul are called atheists by followers of the Vedic wisdom. Yet, even if, for argument's sake, we accept the atheist theory that there is no case for lamentation, apart from the separate existence of the soul, this material element remains unmanifest before creation. From the subtle state of unmanifestation comes manifestation. Just as from ether, air is generated from air, fire is generated from fire, water is generated from water, earth becomes manifested. From earth, many varieties of manifestations take place. Take, for example, a big skyscraper manifested from the earth. When it is dismantled, the manifestations becomes again unmanifested, and remains as atoms in the ultimate stage. The law of conservation of energy remains, but in the course of time, things are manifested and unmanifested. That is a difference. Then what cause is there for lamentations either in the stage of manifestation or unmanifestation? Somehow or other, even in the unmanifest stage, things are not lost. Both at the beginning and at the end, all the elements remain unmanifested, and only in the middle are they manifested, and this does not make any real material difference. And if we accept the Vedic conclusion as stated in the Bhagavad Gita, Antavanta ime deha, that these material bodies are perishable and due course time, nityas yokta Sariyaha, but that soul is eternal, then we must remember always that the body is like a dress. Therefore, why lament the changing of the dress? The material body has no factual existence in relation to the eternal soul. It is something like a dream. In a dream, we may think of flying in the sky or sitting on a chariot as a king. But when we wake up, we can see that we are neither in the sky nor seated on this chariot. The Vedic wisdom encourages self-realization on the basis of the non-existence of the material body. Therefore, in either case, whether one believes in the existence of the soul or one does not believe in the existence of the soul, there is no cause for lamentation for loss of the body. Any questions or comments so far? Text 29. Translation. Some look on the soul as amazing, some describe him as amazing, and some hear of him as amazing, while others, even after hearing about him, cannot understand him at all. Purport. Since Gita Upanishad is largely based on the principles of the Upanishads, it is not surprising it also find this passage in the Katha Upanishad. Saranamti pi paripir yona lapya Shunapato pi bhavoya navidu Askacharyo vaktya kusosya lapta Astrayo gyata kushalam nusita. The fact that atomic soul is within the body of a gigantic animal, in the body of a gigantic banyan tree, and also in the microbiotic germs, millions and billions of which accompany only an inch of space, is certainly very amazing. Men with a poor fund of knowledge and men who are not austere cannot understand the wonders of the individual atom spark of spirit, even though it is explained by the greatest authority of knowledge, who imparted lessons even to the Brahman, the first living being in the universe. Owing to a gross material conception of things, most men in this age cannot imagine how such a small particle can become both so great and so small. So men look at the soul proper as a wonderful either by constitution or by description. Illusioned by the material energy, people are so engrossed in subject matter for sense gratification that they have very little time to understand the questions of self-understanding, even though it is a fact that without the self-understanding, all activities result in ultimate defeat and the struggle for existence. Perhaps one has no idea that one must think of the soul and also make a solution of the material miseries. Some people who are inclined to hear about the soul may be attending lectures in good association, but sometimes, owing to ignorance, they are misguided by acceptance of the supersoul and the atomic soul as one without distinction of magnitude. It is very difficult to find a man who perfectly understands the position of the soul. The supersoul, the atomic soul, their respective functions, relationships, and all other major and minor details. And it's still more difficult to find a man who has actually derived full benefit from knowledge of the soul, and who is able to describe the position of the soul in different aspects. But if somehow or other one is able to understand the subject matter of the soul, then one's life is successful. The easiest process for understanding the subject matter of self, however, is to accept the statements of the Bhagavad Gita spoken by the greatest authority, Lord Krishna, without being deviated by other theories. But it also requires a great deal of penance and sacrifice, either in this life or in the previous ones. Before one is able to accept Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna can, however, be known as such by the causeless mercy of the pure devotee and by no other way. Any questions or comments?
I just wanted to comment that at the beginning of the purport, it says, since Gita Upanishad is largely based on the principles of the Upanishads, it is not surprising to also find this passage in the Katha Upanishad. So it's interesting to me that obviously Krishna knows everything, and yet he's saying some things which we can find in other Vedic sources as well. So he speaks as one with a lot of authority, that he is aware of Vedic knowledge and is using that to back up what he's saying. And I also like how at the end of the purport it says, Krishna can, however, be known as such by the causeless mercy of the pure devotee and by no other way. So we have a lot of these Vedic texts to, back up this philosophy, but at the end of the day, without the pure devotee, it's very hard for us to make advancements.
Text 30. Translation. O descendant of Bharata, who dwells in the body is eternal and can never be slain. Therefore you need not grieve for any creature. Purport. The Lord now concludes the chapter of the instruction on the immutable spirit soul in describing the immortal soul in various ways. Lord Krishna establishes that the soul is immortal and the body is temporary. Therefore, Arjuna is a Kshatriya, should not abandon his duty out of fear that his grandfather and teacher, Bhishma and Drona, will die in the battle. On the authority of Sri Krishna, one has to believe that there is a soul different from the material body, not that there is no such thing as soul, or that living symptoms developed as a certain stage in material maturity resulting from the interaction of chemicals. Though the soul is immortal, violence is not encouraged. But at the time of war, it is not discouraged when there is actual need for it. That need must be justified in terms of the sanctions of the Lord and not capriciously. Text 31. Translation. Concerning your specific duty as a Kshatriya, you should know that there is no better engagement for you than fighting on religious principles, and so there is no need for hesitation. Purport. Out of the 4 orders of social administration, the second order, the matter of good administration, is called Kshatriya. Kshat means hurt. One who gives protections from harm is called a Kshatriya. Trayate, to give protection. The Kshatriyas are trained for killing in the forest. Kshatriya would go into the forest and challenge a tiger face to face and fight with the tiger with a sword. When the tiger was killed, it would be offered the royal order of cremation. This system is being followed even up to the present day by the Kshatriya kings of Jaipur state. Kshatriyas are specifically trained for challenging and killing because religious violence is sometimes a necessary factor. Therefore, Kshatriyas are never meant for accepting directly the order of sannyasi or renunciation. Nonviolence in politics may be a diplomacy, but is never a factor or principle in the religious law books. It is stated, Avavisho mito nyayatnyam jyagam santo mahikshikta yaramanam param shakya sargam yanti aparam mukhaha yageshu pashavo praman anyate satatam Dvijay samsukta kila matrayas chate pe sargam abhipunam. In the battlefield, a king or Kshatriya, while fighting another king envious of him, is eligible for achieving heavenly planets after death, as the Brahmanas also attain the heavenly planets by sacrificing animals in the sacrificial fire. Therefore, killing on the religious principle and killing of animals in the sacrificial fire are not at all considered to be acts of violence, because everyone is benefited by the religious principles involved. The animal sacrifice gets a human life immediately without undergoing the gradual evolutionary process from one form to another. And the Kshatriyas killed in the battlefield also attains the heavenly planets, as do the Brahmanas who attain them by offering sacrifice. There are 2 kinds of swadharmas, specific duties. As long as one is not liberated, one has to perform the duties of that particular body in accordance with religious principles in order to achieve liberation. When one is liberated, one swadharma, specific duty, becomes spiritual and is not in the material body concept. In the bodily concept of life, there are specific duties to the Brahmanas and Kshatriyas, respectively, and such duties are unavoidable. Swadharma is ordained by the Lord, and this will be clarified in the 4th chapter. On the bodily plane, Sardama is called Varnashrama, or man's stepping stone for spiritual understanding. Human civilization begins from the stage of Varnashram Dharma, or specific duties in terms of specific modes of nature of the body or obtain. Discharging one specific duty in any field of action in accordance with Varnashram Dharma serves to elevate one to a higher status of life. Any last minute questions or comments? Bhagavad Gita Ki Jai!